Hey, welcome back everyone. It is time for another red hot covered call video. Well, hey, look, today we're going to talk about an AMD trade, poor man's covered call, for which I've bought 5 leaps call options on AMD, and we've been trading them. Now, I want to show you where I'm at with that trade and show you that I'm down considerably. But I want to talk about our next trade and why we selected a particular strike price. So, what I want you to do is this. If you've never been to my website, cptdashboard.com, click free spreadsheets. What you're going to do is download your free copy of the poor man's covered call tracker. Because what you're about to see here is this. We want to keep track of all of our trades so we know when we're profitable. And when we plug in the final trade and we plug in the value of the leaps call option, we'll know if we're profitable or not. You have to keep these numbers in front of you. That link is in the description below. Let's talk about my poor man's covered call trade on AMD. I bought 5 leaps call options. I want to show you where we're at, why I picked a strike price for a covered call, and let's talk about all the things that are important about this trade. But hey, look, before we get there, if you like anything you hear, I want you to subscribe to the channel. I come back every week, show you timely and relevant trades. And hey, if you like this video today, bang that like button. It lets me know you like what I'm doing. Now what I'm doing is this. I'm showing you my poor man's covered call tracker for this AMD trade. Now do understand I have 3 different positions in AMD, and this happens to be one of them. What I want you to do is focus on a couple things here. I want you to focus on where I got involved with the stock. I want you to notice the expiration for the deep in the money leaps call option I purchased. These items are all going to play into where we're at with this trade. I want you to notice that I got involved when the stock was trading at 101. I went ahead and bought the deep in the money 65 strike, and I went ahead and paid $40 for it. Now, at the time, there was a little bit of time value there, and I understood that, so we were willing to pay about 2% in time value cost to obtain this leaps call option. When I went ahead and bought 5 contracts, that means I invested $20,000. So now I have the right, but not the obligation, to take somebody's shares away from them at 65. So now I can go ahead and write near-term covered calls. And that's what I did. I've done this 3 times. What I want you to understand is this. Currently, AMD is not trading at 101. Currently, the leaps call option is not trading for $40.01. We have had a market that has absolutely got ripped, and everything has gotten ripped with it. I'll tell you what, if you've made money in this market with a stock that has moved higher, you, my friend, I tip my hat. Most every other stock is down. With that said, we're going to go ahead and use this leaps call option to generate some income. Right? I'm not just going to have it there and just let it sit and rot. We're going to use it because we have a time constraint. See, I only have this leaps call option till March 2024, so I have to write as many covered calls as I can using this leaps call option. It's not like I have the shares, I buy them and I don't do anything with them for years on end. No, I have a definite deadline. So what I need to do is get this position working. I went ahead and started this trade by writing a covered call when the stock was trading at 101.90, picked the 103 strike. And you can notice a theme here. Every time I buy the option back, I write the 103 strike. Why do I write the 103 strike? Well, because it's the closest strike for which gets me to 101. And that's where I got involved in this position. Because if the stock's trading at 101, chances are my leaps call option's trading for break-even money, and I can get out of the trade actually not making any money on the leaps call option, but we have absolutely stacked the chips with all of the near-term covered calls that I've written. And in this case, I had written 3 of them, and this position was sitting on the sideline. So I wanted to get it in play. So what you can see is this. When the stock was falling at 96.57, I used that 103 strike. We got $4 for it. Well, the stock fell and I was able to buy that back for $2 or collecting some $1,000 and putting it on the table. Now, if you look at that, I went ahead and bought that back October 25th. So I put that trade on September 20th and I bought it back October 25th. So it did not go to expiration. Expiration is this coming Friday. Now, what I decided to do was take that off the board. The reason I decided to do that is because we have earnings coming. We have a big, fat earnings report coming, and I'll tell you what, it could absolutely make or break this. October 31st, we have earnings, and that's Tuesday. And I'll tell you what, if AMD hits earnings, this thing could go higher. If it misses earnings, we could absolutely fall. And I'm going to show you on the charts where I think this can go, so stick with me. I'm setting this up. I went ahead and decided, because my break even is around 101, which means if the stock trades at 101 or above, my Leaps call option will be priced right around $40. That means I make no money on the Leaps call option. Yet I can go ahead and write a covered call, having my shares taken away, making an additional $1,400. So that's the setup for this trade. I go ahead, knowing that I have earnings, I pick the November 24th expiration, and we're going to let this ride. Look, if AMD goes lower, I'm going to be able to buy this back and pocket all that money because that's all premium and it'll go to zero. And we'll look to reboot for another trade. If it goes above 101 and heads to 105, I make a little bit of money on the Leaps call option and I keep that premium for the covered call. We get out of the trade. It's a clean deal. Now, before I show you the chart and we finish up this video, what I want to do is talk to you about how I decided to pick the 105 strike and where my Leaps call option will be valued. So when the stock's trading at 96.35, I have a 96 delta leap, which means my Leaps call option will move 96% of a $1 move in the stock, and I picked the 105 strike. Well, that means it's going to be an $8.65 stock move. My Leaps call option move will move $8.30, which means I will have a value, if my shares are taken away at 105, I will have a value of $43.65. And in this case, if I plug in $43.65, you will see that this trade will actually be a 31% cash on cash trade, and we're out of it. Clean deal. But that's not where we're at right now, because right now this sucker's trading for $35.35, and you can see that my Leaps call option is down some 11%. And what I'll tell you is this, I got a lot of Leaps call options that are down more than 11%. So this is actually a good situation I'm in. Here's the deal. Remember I talked to you about March 2024? That gives me an opportunity. If the stock does not finish at 101 and it actually falls, and I'm going to show you on the chart where I think it could fall, we're going to go ahead and continue to write near-term covered calls until we get March 2024. And to be honest with you, the chips will lay where they lay. If the stock is not trading at 101, that means I'm going to lose money on my Leaps call option. So that's where I need the stock to be, 101. Until we're there, we're going to write near-term covered calls, and we're going to jack up this covered call portion and try to make as much as we can. Now let's go to the charts. I'm going to show you exactly where I think AMD is going to go, but I don't have a crystal ball. But let's see what the chart's telling me. Now, I'll be real brief here. You can see, man, in after hours, something's happening. I'm not even sure. So this is not a good deal. But with that said, the stock's trading at about 96.06. Let's look at its trading range and really try to get a gauge to where this might go. And with that said, nobody knows where this is going to go because the overall stock market is getting clobbered. But if we're going to look at AMD, we want to look at it in this tight window. And what I want you to notice is this. Back when AMD was trading around 97, which it's not now, but when it was trading around 97, we can go all the way back to when it last broke resistance. And when it broke resistance and stayed above it this entire time, this last moment where it broke resistance is going to become support. Well, sure enough, that's what happens, because you could see as it falls, the first time it hits around 97, it bounces off of that and moves higher. Well, during this recent sell-off, it's fallen back to 97, and now it's fallen further. It's now trading under 97. So where does it go? Well, we don't know where it goes because it's down $2 in aftermarket. I don't know why, but here is the bigger picture. Come October 31st, they're going to have earnings, and that's truly going to move the stock. Where does it move the stock? It could move, in my opinion, to 113 or 84. And this is why. If we go back to the last time there was support, we can go back to about 84. Now, this is where support was, and notice this is right where resistance was. Now, granted, it breaks resistance and creates a new support, But if it breaks this 94 support, which that is your current support, well, there's a big gap to fill. And the only way it's going to fill it is if it falls to the last time it broke resistance, and that would be 84. Right now, using indicators like the 20-day, 50-day, things like that, it just doesn't work because there is such a void here, you just don't know where it's going to go. So what we have to do is think about it in terms of where was the last time it broke resistance and moved higher? Where was the last time it had support and bounced off of it? If it's breaking all of that, which it's currently doing, then you got to find the next one and the next one and the next one. And at some point, it's just a bad trade. Now, we still have a chance here with AMD because I think if earnings comes out, we get an opportunity to move to where I believe it could trade anywhere from 113, more probably, if that's even a word, 104 to 107. I think its current sandbox is right now between what seems to be 94, 96 to 104 and 106. So that is going to be the new sandbox for this trade. And that's how you want to look at it. Look, I'm going to leave it right there. Whether it finishes higher or lower, I'm not sure. But hey, I've got these leaps call options and I got to use them. And that's exactly what I did. If you're interested in learning how to sell premium to generate near-term cash flow like I did on this trade, making $1,400 for the next 30 plus days, I want you to subscribe to the channel. I want you to absolutely bang that like button because it lets me know you like what I'm doing and I want to do another video when I see the likes. But hey, look, more importantly, if you want to get your free copy of the Poor Man's Cover Call Tracker, go to cptdashboard.com, click free spreadsheets. But if you want the brand new one, the 2023 version, it's in the description below. Put a little skin in the game, and we're going to donate all of that money to a great cause. You got to click the button to know what I'm talking about. But oh, by the way, you're going to get 1 free month of my membership. A full access, 1 free month of my membership. I'm giving it to you for kicking down, putting skin in the game, and helping me with a great cause. I challenge you to click that link just to see what I'm trying to do. Hey, look, we're trying to do good things, and I want you to support me. Hey, look, be safe, be healthy, most important, be lucky. Until next time, may all your covered calls be profitable.